Guys, deluded Guna. Now, in life, or well, in football, there's always people that don't hit their potential. That whether it's down to injuries, not giving a not being given a chance, not being in the right moment, not being at the right club, not being under the right manager, not being in the right system, whatever it is, whatever it is. Now, I use the term fraud. Now, when I say fraud, it doesn't mean you're necessarily a bad footballer. It could mean you're not a bad footballer. You just haven't hit the heights. It doesn't mean you're. It could mean you're overrated. There's many different words and things like that. And you'll get what I mean if I haven't explained it well. You'll get what I'm getting at throughout the course of this video. I'm bringing out a couple of videos because while there's some players that hit their potential, there's some players, like I keep saying, there's some clangers that I thought were good, and players that I thought could have been players and players that just haven't reached any of the heights they got from the footballing community or whoever. So let's get into it. First, Carlos Vela. Loaned out for years, talked about as being a player for Arsenal for years, incredibly lightweight. Since he left, hasn't really hit the heights. I think I saw him score for David Moyes against Barcelona. He's at Sociedad. Yeah, that's about anything I've seen of him. Not even really the shining light for Mexican football like he was talked about as being still the same lightweight, over dribbling, inconsistent player I saw at Arsenal. My only memory of him is scoring that chip in the game, wheelchair controlled in the Carling Cup when he was coming through. So Vela's got to be a fraud. I mean, yeah. Jonathan and Gio dos Santos, Barcelona. Jonathan, do you know what? It's hard saying Jonathan because while they said he could be earmarked as a player for the first team, they didn't really go ahead of it with him. So while he's involved and wherever he is now, yeah, his brother now talked about as being the next Ronaldinho, talked about as being where Messi is or playing in that team, talked about as one for the future. Frauded, didn't happen at Barcelona. It didn't happen at Spurs either. I do believe at the time when Spurs got him, they could have got more change out of him, but it didn't really hit the heights for him either there. Yeah, frauded at two clubs, frauded, been at other clubs frauding, and he now finds himself at a relatively young age. Don't know how old he is, but he can't be that old because it feels like he's been here forever. Playing in MLS. Far cry from being talked about as becoming a Barcelona legend and things like that. Next, Bojan. Now, Bojan's not really a fraud. I mean, he's still got a career for himself. He's still played at some decent clubs. He's won Champions League and things like that. But I still remember at 17 when he got his Spain national team cap, he was talked about as being ahead of Messi at that age. He was talked about as possibly being a Barcelona legend again, another one, and spoken about as being someone that can both rival Messi and partner Messi. It didn't happen due to injuries and whatever. It didn't happen. He went on loan to Ajax. It was fruitless. Roma, it was fruitless. He found himself, he done little bits at Stoke, but he found himself frozen out at Stoke. I mean, come on, this is Bojan, who I just listed what he's projected to be, frozen out by Mark Hughes at Stoke. No disrespect to Stoke, but that shows the heights you've fallen off. Finds himself playing in Germany now for Mainz or something like that last time I checked. Not how his career would have been panned out to be if you asked him at 17. Next, Alphalai, talked about as being a golden boy for Dutch football, about being this, about being that, shunned for his club side, got the move to Barcelona. It didn't happen again. Unlucky with injuries, unlucky with a lot of things. And then when he was fit, was frozen out, and it just didn't happen for him. Found himself in the Premier League again, like Bojan. He's a good footballer, like the football ability is there, but just not hit the heights and come nowhere near what you could have done. Not even in the foggiest. So yeah, he's got to be there. Javi Garcia, if you guys remember him. Left Real Madrid, went to Benfica, made a name for himself, and talked about as being this crazy DM. Went to Man City, was crap. Less said about him. We'll move on. Sonogo. Won the under-20 championships with World Cup, I believe, or whatever it was, with France, same as Paul Pogba, same age as Paul Pogba. Talked about as being raw, as about being untested. He did look like that. I said that as well, and I still stand behind it. It's clear he's got no footballing ability at all. Ajax, Frank de Boer, whoever said it, clearly seen it. I mean, he's a big man and he's always falling on the floor. He just looks like a duck out of water. That is the term I used to say for him. He's just not good at all. His highlights here is that game against Dortmund where he scored more goals than some elite strikers in the Champions League, or more important goals. That's just a little cheeky dig. What else? Known for his hat trick in the Emirates Cup. I mean, come on. And I think, was it Wigan or whoever in the FA Cup? He played superb, but that's about it. Other than that, nothing. I mean, we got him for free, and he said he was he was at risk of being a postman, or was a postman before joining Arsenal or something like that, or early on in his career. And you could potentially see why. Now, I'm not harsh, regardless of if I think you're crap or not. This is a livelihood. They got bills to pay. They got family. I hope you find another club, and I hope you get it together and things like that, and you can get some sort of career. I'll be amazed if I see you back at the top level. But as long as you can still eat from football and pay your bills, be playing football, good on you. But you're just a fraud, really. Lastly, Ganso. If you remember Neymar, Neymar's early days, then you remember Ganso. Next Kaká, next this. He was actually lighting the world of light in Brazil. He had skills. He had a range of passing. He was a strong dribbler. He was a bit shy off the field, but he did look like a player. And again, another one unlucky with injuries and things like that. It just didn't happen for him. He came to Europe. It didn't happen for him again. So he just has to just be a fraud. Guys, yeah, like I said, they're the frauds. They're not, when I say you're a fraud, I don't necessarily mean you're a bad footballer, but they're just some footballers I've always had some opinions on and I didn't know how to structure it in a video. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Deluded Guna, I'm signing out. Comment if you've got similar ones or if you've got some others, because it was very hard to pick these up. Subscribe. You guys know what to do. I'm out.